How you doing, E?
Good. If you keep your eyes closed, you can pass the back.
This is one of the most thoughtful things a customer has ever done to us. In this torrential rain, they have foil wrapped our biscuits. Having a good time?
Yeah, great time.
Have you had your biscuit?
Yeah, I would. Oh, they're nice ones.
Oh, look at that. We have been spoilt today. Oh, yoink.
I really secretly wanted that one.
Anyway, back to work. So today we are tackling some inappropriate render that has been put on this beautiful townhouse. I believe this was built in the 1800s, and you can see they have put sand and cement render over there, which is causing all this blistering that you're seeing in the paintwork. It's been injected with damp course. Not going to go into too much detail about the ineffectiveness that that's potentially causing. And they've also taken it straight to the floor there, right to the floor, completely bypassing any damp course. I don't know whether there even is one at the minute, but we will be rectifying that and removing it all. And we are also doing the back of the property too, which is this lovely section. Not a huge area, but is a little bit tricky to access, and it's a townhouse directly over the neighbours as well. This is what is behind all of that awful non-breathable render, and it's the lovely bricks. Unfortunately, they are damaged. We have whipped all the layers off, so it will need protecting in beautiful lime render. Good.
Pretty crazy.
Yeah. Watch your head up there, Reese. That panel above you looks quite live.
Yeah, I'm trying to make sure it doesn't all fall on top of me.
Yeah.
That sounds like a plan.
It's going to fall at once.
Okay. Actually put some glue on there. Old silica. Right. Solid there. This is some seriously damp. And they filled over an air vent. And you see this? That is a big no-no. Unless it has been made redundant, which unfortunately this has now. Okay. But nice. Need to hammer off that bit.
Yeah, that looks like a patch. Yeah.
Okay. Looking good. You can see that wall has now been removed. The damp, you can really shows on that wall how damp and saturated it was, and also the front garden wall we noticed was quite live and actually a little bit unstable and unsafe. So the customer mentioned about getting rid of this as well, which is a lovely job to do. Oh yes. So again, we will first remove all this loose and damaged render of this area as well. Okay. Make that good. And also these steps. They've got some beautiful steps, but they are in quite bad condition. They're live, and the customer is a little bit worried that they're going to break while she's walking on them. And a gas pipe was almost completely buried, and once we removed the render, unfortunately, the exterior exposed a quite significant gas leak. Whilst it was relatively slight, I should argue any gas leak is significant. Obviously, the customer was alerted immediately, and it turns out it's possibly been leaking for quite some time, but only very slight. But even so, a slight gas leak, as I said, it's not good. Okay, had some fun and games with the gas board here. We found a gas leak that has now been rectified. So now we're getting on with this wall restoration. And back to the back wall. Chris has got the scratch coat of lime over it. You can see it's all beautifully coated, and he's actually preparing it now to have the second coat over it. That's coming out beautifully, much prettier. Okay, you've got the setup station, so you've got your mixing DeWalt Mixer, massive bucket that will take about five bags at a time. Washout bucket, spare water, walking trowel, cleaning stuff. There's the internet cable there, and we just need to give this a hose down. Okay, tight quarters, some bags there.
Wrecking man.
Okay, Hayden, you ready to have a go? Hayden's first ever time doing a bit of lime rendering.
I just wetting the...
Yeah, well done. First thing we do?
Wetting our hooks and troughs. Otherwise, it won't go on so well.
That's be a bit more specific with that reason.
Well, it makes life a whole lot easier.
To stop it sticking so much to the hawk and trowel. That's really the reason. But yeah, I suppose you're right. Yeah, helps lubricate the hawk. Okay. There you go. Your turn, monsieur. I'll get the...
Hi, would anyone like a drink?
Oh, there's two people in here.
Fucking enough.
Coffee and a tea, right?
Oh, thank you very much. Lovely. So, can I give you first scoop? If you're not careful, it slips straight off. You can just wet the hawk. So first scoop, it actually looks a bit sloppy now. Okay, your turn. Turn around, face the camera. That's quite a big scoop. That's right. Alright, yeah. Excellent. You do not like this. Oh. But other than that, good. That's right. How'd that feel?
Well, decent. It is quite wet.
It is a little bit wetter than I was hoping, but never mind. We can work with it. Okay. Alright, now let's switch places. Starting for that bead, got a nice easy one here. The very first one. This is going to go on quite quickly, so set it to the wall, and then like that. Then you can fit it up in there.
Don't worry about nothing in duplicate.
These beads were put on 2 days ago, so they're rock hard. Okay. So you don't have to worry about that. Okay. Oh, that's it. Okay, up. And what you can do to turn it up and off if it's easier.
And
Okay. So
no.
what you've got on your fork there, you can scoop the pop in the middle. Pop it in the middle. Now turn it down to get all off. And now spin it back a bit up so you've got a little bit in the middle, but all of it's in the middle. And now you can turn it. So once you feel like you'll get something below it. Nice and quick. There we are. And yeah, stop that dripping. Excellent. That's that as well. And now to get that very top as well, but we'll need a bit more gear on the wood. So get the hide it. We're gonna put a bit on the toe and then up. Well, in your case, towards the bit closer. Like to start. You've got to be a little bit quick. Your gear's a little bit wet. Doesn't make it easy for you. And then so toe with this, because it's a bit wet, sort of working it into there, it's a bit easier, and then lightly sort of softly over the top. You want a bit more beer there, probably. Like to have a plate?
Uh-huh.
Wonderful mesh to go on. Now I love this mesh. You'll notice the squares are slightly wider than your thin coat render mesh, and the material, the fibres are actually thicker as well. So it's a thicker mesh with slightly wider spacing specifically for cement-based renders or arguably larger grain mixes, larger grain renders. So you can use it for all sorts, but this works, it's absolutely perfect for lime render, sand and cement based renders. I've even used it in a floor screed as a bit of a base, which was quite fun. But it's brilliant, and also really, really does help protect against sort of cracking and shrinking. Fantastic stuff. Strongly recommend always embedding it into your renders. You can see we're speeding up there. So we've basically put a coat on to bed the mesh on. Then we put another coat over the top of the mesh. That will then get scratched. Ready for the final coat of lime. Lime typically is about 15 to 20 mil thick. Now, when I say typically, what I really mean is it should be about that thick, as one of the lime's way it protects the wall is through its thickness. So if it is too thin, which unfortunately a cheap lime quote, be wary, sometimes they allow for a thinner coat of lime render, and that is not going to protect your wall as well. So it needs the thickness. In very simple terms, lime effectively absorbs a little bit of the rain, but then also allows the rain to then evaporate when it gets warm, and it also allows the brickwork to fully dry out as well. So it sort of absorbs it like a sponge, but then dries it and releases it the same way a sponge would left out in the sun. Sort of very basic version of it, a little bit more to it. Okay, Hayden's done all right there, hasn't he? First ever go at scratch coating lime. Clean up those beads a bit, but looking good. I'm just going to finish that section off there.
handle the drill down, yeah.
How are we feeling up there? You right there, Heath?
Yeah.
Zoom in on your face. Back round to the front of the house, and now we are cracking on with the garden wall. This is in a terrible condition. It was really, really bad. So in order to re-strengthen this whole wall, we're using a very strong sand and cement render with added reinforcement fibres into the mix, on top of a cement slurry based brickwork. And not only are we adding, it's also very thick. That's more to do with the brickwork and getting it a bit flatter than anything else. But we are also adding the reinforcement mesh as well in top of that. A really belt and braces approach on this one. This is going to completely renew this wall and give it a complete new lease of life. It literally, pieces of it fell down. It was falling down. So absolutely needed doing. So I'm really pleased we were able to help the lovely customer with this one. And the gas pipe made it interesting, having nothing like a little bit of a leaky gas to keep things exciting. But the gas board were incredible. Full credit to Southern Gas. They came out 3 a.m. in the morning. They worked on it sort of all through the night, and by the end of the next day it was all done. So very impressed with that. I think there was just a little bit of making good they needed to do. Very good. And straight round to the back wall again, and they've had time to get this one looking beautiful. And the next day it's time to get the front on. So the plan of action on this particular one is to get the bay window fully lime coated. A 9-amp 18-volt battery does 1 5-bag mix properly of render. So if it was like it, maybe starts the second mix, but that's it. Bit disappointing. Yep, we've had mixed reviews from people telling me their DeWalt batteries last a lot longer, but we've got 5 of those massive batteries, and that was out of necessity because we were finding we were getting basically 1 real good mix per battery. Sometimes we'd get 1.5, but I don't know whether we're mixing differently. Perhaps our gear's much thicker, I don't know. But either way, we are crack on here. And Hayden again, this is only Hayden's, second or third go on the trowel there. So very impressed with him. Really enthusiastic, really eager, fantastic chap, fantastic worker. And you see I'm just ruling off that bay window now. So can you see what I'm doing here, Hayden?
Uh-huh. You make it straight.
And then where it's hollowed out, so you see all this gear I'm taking off, I'm adding it back to the wall, the hollow areas, try and build it out. So that top half looked really thin, like I'd gone there was loads of hollow sections. But then by the time I'd done the bottom half, I was able to use the excess gear here to then fill the top half.
So do you just push against the actual beads?
Yeah. Doesn't really get any easier than this one. This is probably the easiest by a mile. Yeah. Sometimes when you come up, you can drag, which is why I sometimes wiggle it. That helps also push the stuff in here as well. Just trying to educate. It's very easy when you've got guys helping you to forget to teach, but it's so crucial to take the time to teach the apprentices. That's now been floated, or started, still a bit wet. And while the bay window is done, there is still more work to be done. So to be continued, keep looking out for the next video to continue on. Okay, the next morning. How are we feeling today?
Right.
It's looking beautiful. Okay, got the station all set up. Okay, 5th day in a row and we are being thoroughly spoiled. Look at these. That is luxury. And now we are mixing up the top coat. Now, because this is a retaining garden wall, we are using a strong sand and cement mixed render. We don't have to worry about any breathability or drip beads on this one. We're taking it straight to the floor. You see Hayden working hard there, cleaning the drill, got the gear ready, and we are now popping it on. Now, it really pays to have a great team. So whilst I'm putting it on, Chris is there behind me, ruling it all off. Hayden is there cracking on and having a good old go at getting it on as well. He's getting on the trowel more now, which is fantastic to see. We need to train these young ones up as best we can. And Chris is coming up behind me there, and this is going on in no time. Obviously, this is sped up in super speed. In real time, this probably took about an hour or so to get on the wall and to get ruled off, or thereabouts. Not a huge area, but it is quite tricky. There's quite a few little tricky, awkward areas, and a few fun details as well. But no, just going to get my go in. So we're making up some steps. Have some wonderful screed. So we're mixing up we've got some cement-based screed here. So it's sharp sand, cement. We've added SBR for strength. It's also got reinforcement fibres as well. Now, this is a pair of steps we're making for the customer. It was a little bit of an opportunistic chance. The customer sort of asked us on the off chance. It wasn't originally included, but her steps were sort of falling to pieces, and she just asked if it was something we could sort of rectify. We were obviously happy to help. If we can, we will. And our method on sort of light use domestic steps, especially they're fairly small, is to literally build them out with a sort of damp sand and cement screed mix. And you can see I'm practically building them out like you might a sandcastle. So I'm able to do it freehand and literally compress, float, trowel, and bind it all together by hand. Obviously checking the spirit levels, making sure that the biggest factor with these steps for the last, it's not the strength, because the cement is plenty strong enough. It's actually the cracks and where the water is going to get in. So you've got to make sure the steps all slope slightly downwards so that no water's going to sit on the steps. And also things to look out for in time: any hairline cracks appear, you need to fill and seal them, because it's water penetration that's going to ruin these. And that is why I have applied the SBR over the top as well. Now back to the front garden wall. So that's had plenty of time to tighten in now. It's actually a beautiful day. It was about 23, 24 degrees. So this has tightened in quite nicely. Chris has actually been on it the whole time, giving it all a nice float up. I'm just finishing it off tiny little touches. So I'll finish this with a float, then go over it again with a sponge. Looking very good here. I've got some fun details around here. Expansion between the two walls. And we've got the details around here, of course. And we've had a good tidy up and clear away. The gasboard did make a lot of mess that you see there. I will say none of that was us on this occasion. That was the gasboard when they repaired that gas pipe. But never mind, at least they were speedy and quick. The rest of it is looking amazing though, and we've had a good tidy up down the side. It's all drying as it should, and the steps are looking beautiful. Very happy with that, and we'll be back later to paint it all.